5 Television Sports presents live Redskins Playbook. The Super Bowl matchup is set. The Redskins win a nail-biter over the Vikings. We'll run over that. Plus, Joe Jacoby joins us for our roundtable discussion coming up. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Redskins Playbook. I'm Steve Buckhantz, live at our Channel 5 studios. You know, this is the 19th Monday that we have done Redskins Playbook this year. How many of you thought that we would still be on the air with this show this late in the season? I guarantee you there's about 45-plus guys and maybe an owner out at Redskin Park and a few coaches and general managers who were confident that the Skins would be there this late in the season. You know the numbers. It's the 4th Super Bowl appearance it will be in the Redskins team history, and it's the 3rd time in the last 6 years that they have gone to the big game. The Redskins will not go down in history as a classic, dominant Super Bowl type of squad, but as we've been saying all season long, and it's been proven to be true, the Redskins merely do what they have to do to win the games, and yesterday they did what they had to do to get to the Super Bowl. It was pretty easy to tell this was no ordinary game. A crowd of close to 56,000 got the team pumped up before toe met leather. They say you win games with defense. You saw that yesterday. The players have been saying all season long that no one individual has stood out. Guys like Raven Caldwell, Kurt Gouveia, Clarence Vaughn all contributed to that theory against the Vikings. Defense was certainly the name of the game, although on their opening drive, the offense began with a flurry as Kelvin Bryant beat his man by 2 steps and Doug Williams laid it out perfectly for a 7-0 lead. The strategy for this game was simple. Put pressure on Wade Wilson and contain him. The Skins did both, holding Wilson to 28 yards on the ground, the Vikes' leading rusher, and sacking him 8 times for 60 yards in losses, 6 in the first half.
Everybody was screaming defense, and the secondary was screaming front seven, because we knew if they were getting pressure on like they were, we knew they'd make our job a lot easier, and they did. I think they had 7 or 8 sacks, and tell you what, I'm taking all of them out to dinner.
I hate to say we got shook a little bit, but we got jumpy in the first half with all the noise because you couldn't hear the snap count. The only one that could hear it was me, and they showed us must be 8 different fronts and all kinds of blitzes and stuff.
But you had to wonder to yourself, with all that great field position, the game was even at the half. And in the 3rd quarter, not a first down to be had for Washington. But like the hits, the defense kept on coming. They held them to a field goal on the first great goal line stand of the game, which led to the Vikings' demise, a problem Minnesota has had all season long.
We couldn't get the ball in the end zone for 7 points instead of 3 points. So, it happened at the end of the game, and, you just have to make those types of plays. So maybe we don't deserve to be in the Super Bowl because we have to do those things.
Goal line stand was probably the biggest. If you want to pick one thing, I'd say the goal line stand was the biggest part of it.
That inspired the offense. Williams found Gary Clark for 43 yards. And 3 plays later, finds him again with a laser pass to the end zone as the Skins go up 17-10.
It was the outside zone, and if I would ran to the corner, it would have did no good. So I just hooked up. Fortunate for me, Doug must have been looking at me, and he threw the ball in there. Good thing he threw it in there because he wouldn't have got blitzed on the sidelines when I came off and I was running the right pattern.
Saw that we were in man coverage, and we had a rookie out there on an experienced Pro Bowl receiver, and we shouldn't have put him in that position, but we did, and he was able to pick him out and throw the ball to him.
Wilson led his team back downfield, however, but once again the defense was true to the test, and on the final play, destiny intervened. Nelson dropped a sure first down, maybe a touchdown pass, and the Redskins were in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I was looking forward to going out there and hopefully making a winning catch. Unfortunately, it doesn't always work out the way you dream about or think about.
What was your feeling when Nelson dropped the pass on the last play of the game?
Great. I love you, Nelson.
When we continue on Redskin Playbook, we'll be joined in our roundtable discussion by, among others, Redskin tackle Joe Jacoby. Stay tuned.
No matter how careful you are, how safe, it all comes down to this. When you hit the brakes, they have to stop more than a ton of moving cars. So when your brakes aren't right, put them in expert hands. Mitasize them. We don't miss a thing. We fix them right the first time. That's why Midas can guarantee its brake shoes and pads for as long as you own your car. It may be the most important guarantee you'll ever get. Midasize it. Get it right the first time.
Okay, the record for holding out against a Big Mac attack is 13 seconds. Can you beat that?
Bring on the Mac.
Okay, go.
2 all-beef patties.
Special sauce.
Breaking them down.
Well...
Oh, man, if you'd waited a half second...
You'd have broken the record.
Hey, you can't eat a record.
I heard that.
Attack a Big Mac and large fries, specially priced at $1.88.
Thinking of buying a new truck?
The Mazda Dealer Information Center has a great suggestion.
It's the SE5 Plus 7.
The sporty new SE5 Plus more than $700 worth of extras at no extra charge from Mazda.
You get a bed liner, AM/FM stereo, cloth seat, and sliding rear window.
More than $700 worth of extras at no extra charge.
Mazda SE5 Plus 7. Don't miss it.
Come drive a Mazda.
One drive will make the difference.
Barney. Come on, Barney.
One dog in a million. When you feel this way, there's one kind of dog food. A dog food with real chicken and more nutrition per ounce than any leading brand. A dog food as special as your dog. Purina O&E brand dog food. For that one dog, yours.
The Major Indoor Lacrosse League presents the world's toughest athletes. Saturday night, January 30th at the Capitol Center. The red-hot Washington Wave puts it on the line against the New Jersey Saints. Coors Light brings you indoor lacrosse. The sport that has it all. Hard-hitting, all-out slashing, fierce sporting, and bone-bruising cross-check. It is wild. Don't miss a single minute at the Capitol Center. Saturday night, January 30th. Awesome athletes in the box. The Wave meets the New Jersey Saints. Make contact with the future.
Welcome back to Redskins Playbook. As you know, Super Bowl 22 is all set the next 2 weeks from Sunday, 2 weeks from yesterday out at Jack Murphy Stadium in San Diego. Yesterday, the Denver Broncos got in there for the second straight year, and they beat for the second straight year the Cleveland Browns in a rematch of the AFC Championship. Played that one at Mile High Stadium, where Denver won at 38-33, and leading 21-10, John Elway proving that, well, he may be the best quarterback in the NFL. Great play here, bumps into his own man. Escapes the Browns' rush, passes over to Mark Jackson. He spins out, breaks a tackle, and breaks another tackle, gets a block, and he's going all the way. Just about runs out of gas at the goal line before being tackled, but gets in for the touchdown that gave Denver the lead, 28-10. Fourth quarter, Bernie Kosar comes back. It's 3rd and 5 at the goal there, hitting 3rd and goal at the 5, rather. Webster Slaughter caught the touchdown, and that tied the game at 31-all. Denver goes back on top, though. Elway, once again, this time to Sammy Winder, who breaks a couple of tackles. He goes for 20 yards and a Denver lead of 38-31. Now, this thing looked like it was going to be tied and into overtime. The watch here is Ernest Biner is stripped on a great defensive play by Jeremiah Castile, who just went for the football. It was rather obvious. Recovered there, and Denver goes on to win 38-33 for the second year in a row. A very tough loss for the Cleveland Browns.
We're probably younger than we were last year. We do have experience of having been there before. I think that's important, but, you know, Washington has also. So it should be a great game. I just hope that we put two halves together, unlike last year.
Well, anytime you have a team that's coached by Joe Gibbs, you're going to have a team that's well prepared, and we'll sit down and look at them more next week. Right now, I just want to kind of savor this win and get some rest.
You know, I think that whether we control the full or not, I think we've got to put some points on the board. They're explosive offensively, and they, I'm not sure the score, but the things that I did see today, they shut down a pretty explosive offense in the Vikings. So we've got our hands, you know, full, and we're going to get work cut out for us.
I see the Redskins beating the Denver Broncos because with John Elway quarterback, and he presents a big problem for a defense. And like I say, his receivers adjust to him very well.
John Elway is the greatest player in the National Football League, and I'm not just saying that, he really is. I mean, you look at a guy like that, has the ability to dominate a football game, and I felt that you know, we should have beaten him out there, but we didn't, and that's in the past. So what we have to do is make a lot of adjustments.
All right, joining us now here on Redskin Playbook for our roundtable discussion. First, from the Washington Post, a man who covers the Redskins daily, among other sports, but you know him from being here on the show, is Ken Denlinger. Welcome, Ken. Also, covering the Redskins on a daily basis from the Virginian pilot, which is down in Norfolk, Virginia, but he's up at Redskin Park every day, knows the team as well as anybody else. Jim Dusabella, welcome, Jim.
Thank you, Steve.
And Joe Jacoby, he lost a lot of weight, but you can see that he hasn't shown up yet. So there, Joe, really, you've slimmed down a great deal and you look good for 305 pounds.
The problem was, Steve, I thought Ken was going to pick him up. Ken thought I was going to pick him up. It's our fault.
What happened? There was this orange and blue UFO over
what it was?
hovering, I think.
Hovering, and he ran inside the huddle underneath Irene. I know how that is. Let me ask you about John Elway. Denver, Dexter Manley said he thinks he's the best quarterback, best player in the National Football League. What are your opinions of Elway, and what do you think he may or may not be able to do with the Redskins?
I think Elway's the best. I think Denver's pretty much a one-dimensional offense. It's essentially Elway's arm. They run with his arm when he throws short, and then I think that under normal circumstances that the Redskins would be delighted to face essentially one-dimensional offense. But I think Elway is a really special guy.
To me, Steve, he's Dan Marino with wheels. He moves, he runs, he makes things happen, he makes the players around him so much better, particularly the running backs. They compensate for the lack of a running game by using their backs on short passes that do almost the same thing, serve the same purpose. I agree with Dexter and I agree with Kenny. I think he's the best player in the NFL and the type of player who can lead a team to a Super Bowl victory by himself.
What was interesting is what Richie Pettibone and the defensive coaches were able to do to really fluster the Minnesota Vikings. They came up with some sets and some alignments that threw them off. They admitted that they showed different fronts that had them flustered, and the question is, will they be able to come up with something again that might throw John Elway off?
They tried everything they had going for them against Marino, and it wasn't particularly successful. They tried all of this against Wade Wilson, who's just a career backup, and he's just not a very good, historically not a very good quarterback. I think the key is how well the offense plays. I think the offense has got to put 24, 27 points on the board, or it's history. And I think that they've got to be able to sustain some sort of, movement that eats up some time to beat them. I think the key's the offense. I think Elway's going to score.
Yeah, and it concerns you a little bit, at least yesterday. I mean, I saw a team with great field position not be able to put the ball in the end zone. Now, again, they clicked eventually, and you always look at Doug Williams and you think, well, it's only a matter of time before he makes some connection, and it was before he hit Gary Clark for 43 yards and then the touchdown. But it was a concern because the offense was very flat.
This is the first time since the Miami game, and maybe the second time the whole season, where the Redskins need to go into a game with an offensive game plan that stresses ball control, and therefore George Rogers, and a throwback to the old days with Riggins when they ground teams into submission. And I think that's a very key element, whether they'll be able to do that. The offensive line, despite the small of Mr. Jacoby here, was able to blow gaping holes in the Vikings defense yesterday. Denver has a small defensive line and in fact, a small defensive front seven. If the Redskins can dominate them the way they dominated the Vikings, I think the whole complexion of the game changes.
And I'll tell you what, I thought George Rogers ran as well yesterday as he has all season. I mean, you can tell when that guy's come to run. When he hits the hole, he hits it quick and fast like the old George Rogers, and that's what he looked like yesterday.
Yeah, I would think that the line matchup would favor the Redskins. Everyone was laughing at the Oilers for this fancy finesse game plan when they had an offensive line that outweighed the Broncos' defensive line by an exceptional amount. So I would think that that matchup would favor the Redskins.
John Madden mentioned it the other day, and naturally, when you live in this town, you have to agree with him, but I would think maybe around the country they do too. He said Joe Gibbs is the best coach, or perhaps the Redskins have the best coaching staff in football.
The first thought that came into my mind yesterday after the ball game was, if Super Bowls are achieved not by catching passes solely or not by kicking field goals solely, then the NFC has the best representative it could possibly have in the Redskins. Because when you look at the job that the organization as a whole has done this season, from Bobby Beathard on down,
with the strike,
even before the strike, though, Steve, when people were saying, hey, this team needs to draft linebackers, and Beathard said, no, I'd like to have a Brian Davis, I'd like to have a Timmy Smith, and take chances with Govey and Caldwell and those kids. When you look at that, and then the job that Joe Gibbs has done, bringing in Paul Lanham, and not so much, the physical things certainly, but also the smooth way in which it was done, I think this organization, top to bottom, was the best in the NFC this year.
Speaking of linebackers, do we know what the story with Rich Malott was? He was deactivated yesterday. I mean, that's all I heard.
The word I heard was that they wanted to emphasize quickness. They wanted to emphasize quickness with Vaughn and Covey and Caldwell, and so they sent some. They were worried also at the cornerback deal,
right.
So they elevated Morrison. Is that what it was? So Malott was the one I guess was going to see the least amount of time, and who they weren't going to emphasize and feature. So.
And it looks like they'll have another decision to make next week, or 2 weeks, because it appears Art Monk will be back and ready to play. He went in and told Joe Gibbs today that he, in fact, is ready right now to play. So they'll have to make another move. And speaking of moves, we're going to bring the swift Joe Jacoby in here, who's just arrived, and he will join our roundtable discussion in just a minute. Stay tuned.
Invited to a star-studded celebration. Robert Guillaume and Sherry Belafonte Harper co-host a very special tribute to Dr. Martin Luther King with Oprah Winfrey, Aretha Franklin, Marla Gibbs, Ed Asner, Andre Crouch, Tremaine Hawkins, James Cleveland, Marilyn McCoo, Ned Beatty, Tim Reed, Lou Rawls, and many others. Don't miss this moving tribute to Dr. Martin Luther King, Living the Dream.
Tonight at 8 on Fox Channel 5.
Senior VP MIS, big RFP, no imaging. So I'm showing him 4 windows in the Wang workstation, IBM, VS. He says, I know you can do that. I saw your commercials. 5th window is a Wiz file. He says, what's that? I said, that's an image of the RFP you sent last week. We put it on Wiz, scanned it, and put it on optical disc. No big deal. What do you mean, no big deal? You told me to leave Wiz, Wang's integrated image system, out of the RFP. He laughs, grabs a piece of paper, hands it to Ellen, asks her to scan it. Up it comes on the screen in his own handwriting. I've changed my mind.
That's wild.
I'm telling you, Wiz is going to change everything.
If you were stranded on an island, what kind of car would you want? On this island, you'd want the legendary reliability of Toyota Camry. You'd want responsive 16-valve power and front-wheel drive to ease your way through savage traffic in very civilized room and comfort. And, of course, you'd want Camry style, just to impress the natives. Toyota quality. Who could ask for anything more?
In 1959, Coors first put draft beer in bottles and cans. 18 years later, America rose to its feet to cheer another original. They called him Sugar Ray. The lightning quickness of Sugar Ray Leonard. The brewery fresh draft taste of Coors beer. You can copy the style, but there's only one original.
Tonight, can Joan uncover all?
What's under the kilt? What are you wearing under the kilt?
Find out tonight on The Late Show.
Welcome back to Redskin Playbook. Joining us now in his 7th season with the Skins, 6'7", 305-pound offensive tackle, 4-time Pro Bowler, Joe Jacoby. Before we talk Skins, did you get me a good deal on theater vision, do you think? Not only did you
might need it for the Super Bowl.
You made 2 of those commercials, which became cult hero. You became a cult hero overnight with that commercial, and then you put Irene in there. Tell me what you said to Irene last night, and she just told me a minute ago.
Well, it's just kind of hard, and all through the night we had my brother up and some friends and stuff over last night, and I continued through the day today, and every 5 minutes or so I would say, you know, Irene, guess what? And she would go, what? And I said, yeah, we're going to the Super Bowl. And it's just still hard for me to realize after yesterday that, you know, we are going to San Diego.
Do you think, and we just talked about this a second ago, Joe Gibbs and his coaching staff, they make adjustments throughout the game, they make big adjustments at halftime. I know that every player on the team respects him and thinks he's a heck of a coach, and I think that respect is throughout the National Football League. How do you feel about it?
I think so. You know, it's proven since I've been here the last 7 years what we have accomplished. You know, this is our 3rd Super Bowl, my 3rd Super Bowl.
Right.
You know, we went 4 NFC championships, so I think, you know, the coaching staff and the record and what we've done and accomplished, you know, speaks for itself.
It was interesting to watch Joe Gibbs, and I'm sure you've probably seen it by now, but we're going to let him explain to you exactly what his feelings were on the sideline on the very last play of the game, the play that could have been a first down or a touchdown, but instead gave the Redskins a Super Bowl trip.
I'll tell you what happened on that. The guy, I see the ball start for the flat. I see Nelson flying for the flat. And where I was, everybody stepped out and blocked me off, so I really couldn't see. And Next thing I know, a couple of guys slugged me in the chest, and we're going to the Super Bowl. I didn't know. It took me a while to get my breath there. A couple of guys beat me up. I think Eric Yarber was one of them, all 168 pounds. He punched me about 4 times, and I said, we must have done something right.
The offense yesterday, did it concern you that you couldn't, it seemed a little flat and you couldn't get the ball in with good field position?
I don't know if it was flat. I think, you know, we had that one drive, the first drive. And,
right. That was a great drive.
That was a great drive. I think we were hitting on all cylinders there. I think everybody was up for the game. I just think we were trying too hard. We were over anxious to make the play. Everybody wanted to make the play to help us get, you know, get the win. And we just had to calm down, settle down there in the fourth quarter, and concentrate on doing what we've, you know, taught during the week and the game plan, and it worked there for that one drive.
Let me ask these fellows briefly, because we talked about it in the break, and we talked about some of the adjustments that may or may not be made for Denver. Field goal department. I mean, that's got to concern you if you're a coach and you're going into a Super Bowl game and you're not hitting, you don't have that consistent, definitely right through the Ruzek type of field goal kicker.
Yeah, I think it's time for tryouts again. I just think Aji Sheik is probably, I think he's lost the goodwill that he had going into Chicago with Gibbs.
What do you think, Jim?
He doesn't appear to be in any sort of a groove. My only concern would be Jess's injury. Is it 100%? You know, 2 weeks ago he said it was, and then we find out 7 days later, well, it's really not, after Joe watches him kick in practice. I think it's time to open it back up as well if Jess is 100%. Joe Gibbs said today, I'm not ready to make that change, ... yet.
Yeah, the strange things and sometimes pleasant thing about kickers are that they can find that groove just like that. He could get back in this week, and he could kick great in the Super Bowl, and if that's the case, let's wish him well. Key play that a lot of folks seem to have overlooked, I thought, was in the fourth quarter. The game was tied at 10. It was right after the goal line stand when they kicked the field goal to tie it at 10. Redskins had the ball. The handoff was to Timmy Smith on their own 30-yard line, and Smith fumbled the football. Now, this is the game tape, the CBS version, and he fumbles going down. Vikings recover, but the ref says, no, he's down, and he's the ref. Now watch it from our angle, and I think we've slowed this down, and you be the judge. Is this a fumble or not? Now, you could say that, and again, keep in mind, the referee behind Timmy Smith said the ball was down. I believe he was blocked by Timmy's body. But they could have said his knee hit first, and that would have given Minnesota the ball not only in good field position, but it would have not allowed the Redskins to go down and drive, at least on that particular series, and make a touchdown. Just one of the many things that can happen throughout the course of the game.
How many plays later was Williams passed to Clark?
It wasn't many. It was 4 or 5 plays later. Yeah. Okay, Denver. Very tough football team. You're going to need another great defensive performance. These fellows seem to think you're going to need to put 24 points on the board.
Probably right. With Elway back there at quarterback, I think our offense has got to come answer the bell again. I think we've helped the pass, you know, yesterday in the game with our rushing. We kind of threw their pass rushing specialists off a little bit because they had to concentrate on the run. Now we just got to concentrate more, and we know we got to keep Elway off the field, and it's going to be another tough task for us.
It's going to be a heck of a game. We'll continue here with the Redskin Playbook in just a minute. Stay tuned.
Pop into Popeyes and get 2 pieces of chicken for just 99 cents.
Popeyes is cooking those Cajun dishes.
That's right. You can get 2 pieces of fresh, tender Popeyes fried chicken for only 99 cents. Choose either a leg and a thigh or a wing and a breast. That's 2 pieces for 99 cents.
Ooh, we're cooking some spicy prices.
Hurry. For a limited time, you can get 2 pieces of Popeyes for just 99 cents.
The night belongs to Michelob.
I'm in Mexico when I sample Weight Watchers burritos. Tender flour tortillas filled with beefsteak or chicken, brightened with beans and peppers and spices. Weight Watchers' exciting new Mexican entrees. Esto es vivir.
No more yearning, desire burning. No, what's the use? Now there's chocolate mousse. Yes, Weight Watchers deeply chocolate, velvety chocolate mousse. Weight Watchers, this is living.
Right now, Domino's Pizza is dealing, and you're going to be a winner. 2 regular cheese pizzas are $8.88. Pay just a little more for the toppings of your choice, and you've got one great deal. Your pizzas will be hot and fresh from the oven because Domino's Pizza delivers in less than 30 minutes. So discard this joker and be a winner. Get 2 regular cheese pizzas for $8.88. But don't miss out. This deal ends soon. Call Domino's Pizza now.
Lots of people are creating flexible careers with Telesec Temporary Services for lots of reasons. Spend more time with the kids, pursue special interests, re-enter the job market, work during school breaks, earn and learn all summer, build new skills, or work in between permanent jobs. Telesec has interesting assignments for people who want to work full days, weeks, or months and earn excellent pay. Create a career you can live with. Call Telesec. Check the white pages for the office nearest you.
Tonight's guest will receive a gift from Mellard Jewelers, a Bulova quartz watch with exclusive 5-year limited warranty. Bulova, a watch to wear with pride. It's America's time at Mellard Jewelers.
Yeah, Joe needed one of those tonight, as you just said. Get here on time next time. I certainly won't be the one to tell you that, though. Little thing that disturbs me is that you're going up against a team that lost last year in the Super Bowl, briefly in 30 seconds. They've got to be a hungry football team.
Yeah, I think they were. They set it out this year when they came into training camp, wanting to get back to the Super Bowl, and they accomplished their goal. And, you know, they wanted to redeem themselves, and, you know, how they lost to the Giants last year. But I still think this hat's nice. I like this hat.
You like that? That is a nice hat. Let's get one with the Redskins on it, and maybe you'll get a victory. Thanks for coming in.
My pleasure.
Okay. Ken, thank you very much. Jim Dusabella. We'll be live next Monday night from San Diego for Redskin Playbook. And, of course, tonight Jeff Bostic will join us on the 10 o'clock news. Steve Buckhantz will see you at 10. Thanks for watching.
Today can be the day you decide you want your company to succeed beyond the ordinary. And there'll be people who can help. People with a history of unusual success. The day, the turning point, when you decide that's for you, these are the people who can help you attain it. American Security Bank. Give yourself every possible advantage.
This is a real car. This is not an Econo box.
Listen to the heartbeat.
If you know what I'm talking about, an Econo box is the back of them is chopped off. I needed the full car, not just parts of it. I impress my clients when I pull up in my Spectrum. They expect excellent treatment. They expect to be treated with style, and my Spectrum does that. I didn't spend a lot of money, but with my Spectrum, it looks like I did. It's a great asset.
I don't mind working hard, but I'll tell you how I feel. I work an honest day, and I want an honest deal.
At many Safeways now, you'll find lots of specialty departments filled with things you used to run all over town for. Now they're in one place, at Safeway.
I work an honest day, and I want an honest deal.
Safeway, where you get an honest deal every day.
That's today's weather. WTOP. Top news, stories, and traffic next.
Come on up to 15. WTOP. The latest weather and top news instantly on WTOP.
Electrifying music. Dazzling dance. And the songs that made history. Richard Gere. Gregory Hines. For the first time on TV, it was Hot Times and Hot Jazz. The Cotton Club. Wednesday at 7:30 on Fox Channel 5.